Hello everyone, and welcome to week 3 of PUDL, where we take on Mr. JMKlein and his team, the Chicago Cubchoos. So yeah, Mr. JMKlein has a Deoxys Speed, a Roaring Moon, an Iron Bundle, a Gliscor, a Tentacruel, a Frostmoth that can terrestrialize into an Ice, Water, or Electric type, an Alchemy that can terrestrialize into a Fairy, Fire, or Steel type, an Electros, a Camerupt which can terrestrialize into a Ground, Grass, and Water type, and finally a Bastiodon. So let's get right into what we're bringing. It's a very top-heavy team. From Tentacruel at 12 points drop all the way from like 7 at Frostmoth. So yeah, very top heavy with those top 5-6 mons. But I do think a few of those lesser tiers could still come into us. But yeah, let's get into what we're bringing. First off, we have Quicksilver, the Greninja. Running the Expert Belt with Surf, Sludge Wave, Extra Sensory, and U-turn, and we are Protein this week. I have fixed the name, so we no longer are giving away the fact that we are not Battle Bond, thankfully, because I realized in week 1 we were just doing that. But yeah, now the opponent does have to double check that. But yeah, Surf hits a lot of the things like Bastiodon, Camerupt, Free Terra, Gliscor, Deoxys Speed, Sludge Wave is there for things like the Alchemy, and for a few other things like the Iron Bundle, which it just does a good chunk into the Iron Bundle. We have Extra Sensory, mainly for that Tentacruel, because I do think that is going to be the main swap into us. It also helps us with a few other things and can also potentially get us a few flinches, potentially. We have U-turn, which does a lot of damage into things like Dio Speed and Roaring Moon, but also can chip things as well, and just allows us to do a good chunk. Obviously, the Expert Belt allows us to boost our damage calcs, get things, boost a few things into just kill range, which is really nice after rocks, which is nice. And I said the word nice 3 times there. Great vocabulary. Anyway, and moving on, we have Mandibuzz. We are running leftovers, Batty the Mandibuzz. We have a weak armor set for the first week. We do have a decent amount of speed. I believe we had enough speed to outspeed a max speed Frostmoth. And be able to hit that with a Brave Bird or a knockoff. We have U-turn to be able to swap around, and we have Roost. Weak armor's kind of thing is if we do get a weak armor boost, we do outspeed a lot of things like Tentacruel and Roaring Moon, and we can just U-turn out on them. Knockoff is there to remove items, just because Knockoff is very spammable into his team. The only resist is the Roaring Moon, outside of Terra's. Oh, and also the Alchemy, but that could potentially Terra out of that resist. U-turn just for swapping around, Brave Bird just for big damage. And yeah, that is the set for the Mandibuzz. Next up, we have Terra Ice Bellybolt. Don't know why it's shiny. But we are running the leftovers again. We are Terra Blast for Terra Blast Ice. We have Muddy Water. Terra Blast Ice is obviously there for things like Gliscor and Roaring Moon, mainly those two. Muddy Water is here especially for the camera to be able to kill it before it terrestrializes, if that is a swap-in. It also allows us to hit Gliscor without the risk of something else coming in if we need to. We can also hit the Bastiodon as well, which is also very nice if that thing was to come in on us while we're Terra Ice. We have Slack Off for recovery. We are max per def on this. And we have Volt Switch with Electromorphosis, just to be able to get boosted Volt Switches into things like Tentacruel, Iron Bundle, like stuff like Frostmoth, and Alchemy also take a decent chunk from it. So yeah, very nice set. Next up, we have Fortress, which is running Boots. This is our Rocker and Spinner this week. Rockers are so valuable into his team. I think the only resist is Bastiodon on the entire team, which is kind of crazy. Everything else takes at least neutral. And things like Iron Bundle, Frostmoth, and Camerupt definitely don't appreciate it. So yeah, that's really nice. Ice Spinner is here to hit the Gliscor. We have a lot of attack investment actually on this to be able to 2-shot a max defensive Gliscor. We also have EQ for Tentacruel if that wants to come in, and also for Camerupt if that wants to come in. And also potentially hit the Bastiodon. And then we have Rapid Spin to get rid of any hazards he wants to set up with Deoxys or Gliscor, or potentially even T-Spikes from Tentacruel. And we want to set up our rocks, obviously, which we already talked about. We are sturdier rather than Overcoat, because I just don't think there's any risk of him running like... Does Frostmoth learn Sleep Out? I don't think it does, but if it does, I doubt it's clicking it in front of us. Next up, we have Max Pedef AV for Serendipity. We are running Moonblast to be able to hit. This thing is very good into his top 5. Outside of the Gliscor and the Dio, we do really, really well. Moonblast hits things really, really hard, like the Iron Bundle, the Roaring Moon, the Electros, even into the Deoxys, it does a decent chunk. Sludge Bomb is there for things. Things like Alchemy that want to swap into us. Icy Wind is there because I do think his main swapping will be Gliscor, but it also hits the Roaring Moon super effectively if we're in front of that, and also slows things like Deoxys and Iron Bundle down, which is really, really nice. And then we have U-Turn just to apply a little bit of extra pressure, hit the Roaring Moon super effectively, hit the Dio super effectively if that wants to come in, hit the Iron Bundle for a decent chunk, just generally do some decent chip damage. Next up, we have our main breaker for this week, which is Life Orb Arcanine. We are running Rockhead with Head Smash. Head Smash is so free into this team. The only resist is Bastiodon. The only rock resist is Bastiodon, unless the Alchemy, I believe, Terra Steels and the Camerupt rounds. But either way, we can hit those really, really well. Terra Steel obviously doesn't do much into us, and Terra Ground Camerupt we can always swap. So yeah, we have Flame Charge here to be able to get our speed up. And we have Head Smash, which is just super, super free click. Close Combat hits that Bastiodon that wants to come in. And E-Speed is there just in case we need some priorities. So yep, that is the team for week 3 of PUDL. And I will see you lots all in the battle. Hello everyone, and welcome to week 3 of PUDL, where we take on JMKlein and his team, the Chicago Cubchoos. Very, very interesting week. I am very, very intrigued to see what he brings, because depending on what he brings is going to be huge depending on what we lead. We don't see Bastiodon. That is crazy. To me, that is absolutely crazy that there's no Bastiodon. It means there's like no Head Smash swap in unless it's Alchemy. Terra Captains, it's just the Alchemy. Okay. Good info. We do have a Roaring Moon, Bundle, Speed. I have double bundles. We have a Gliscor. A Tentacle. I'm interested to see what the Arcanine swap-in is. Is it just Gliscor? Because that should take over half. Could be Terra Steel Alchemy. That's another option. Very, very interesting. I think we do have a few things we could lead here. Fortress is pretty nice. Into a few things. We do guarantee to get our rocks up in that scenario. Rocks are decent. They hit things like Bundle and Alchemy well. There's no resist. I also like Mandibuzz a little bit here. If it is the lead, we can always just go hard into against a... I think we are going to lead Mandibuzz. And if it is into Iron Bundle, let's say Spec. Spec's Ice Beam does kill into my Serendipity set. Spec's Ice Beam does 23%, which is very, very low. 23 to 27. We're just going to immediately see what the lead is. It is Dio. Okay, so very, very solid lead for us. Dio. Speed. If it is offensive, a Ice Beam does... That is my Serendipity. If it is offensive, Ice Beam does 51 to 60 if he's max special attack Life Orb. I don't mind going for the knockoff early. U-turn's also pretty good. If he's 0 HP, 0 defense, we do a huge chunk. My knockoff is pretty free. It depends a lot. I am thinking I'm going to U-turn here. He's just going to set rocks. Okay, that's fine by me. So we do see Stealth Rocks. And we are going to do a good chunk. Does look to be defensive. Because we should do about 40. That didn't look exactly 40. We can't just go hard Dervish immediately. Dervish. The Fortress. If he's max special attack, Psycho Boost. I doubt he is. Let's see how much I did exactly with that hit. That U-turn early. It was just under... It was like about 35%. So I do think he is probably max HP based on that roll, right? He's a... Does look like a roll from max HP, Dio. Okay, so good to know. Y'all recording? Yep. So we can just probably go straight for the rapid spin here. Get these rocks off our field. He doesn't have a ghost, I don't believe. He does withdraw. Okay, good information. We're just going to get these rocks off our field. And it is into the bundle. Okay. Very interesting. We can just Volt Switch on this. Pointed stones disappear. And I do want to calc that. Rapid spin. He took exactly about 15%. Which looks about no investment. So he's offensive. If he is specs, Hydro Pump would kill us just straight up. So we are gonna go into Pheasantipity. And it is the Hydro Pump. 252. That's 7 damage, 127 damage from a Hydro Pump. That is the max roll from max special attack specs. Could that be, like, just modest? Or is that guaranteed specs? I think it is guaranteed specs, though. Which is a little bit annoying to deal with. I do kind of want to click on Icy Wind here on the Gliscor. We do nothing if this stays in. But I will check into the Gliscor if he's defensive. We do over half. I'm going to click an Ice Wind. You either hit Roaring Moon, I think Roaring Moon or Gliscor the swap into him. Both will get their speed drop, which is really, really nice. I do want to calc further into this damage from bundle. He does withdraw, which is fine. Can we hit an Icy Wind? And it's Alchemy. Okay. Very interesting decision. We're going to drop this thing's speed. We're going to see leftovers from Alchemy. Leftovers. Icy, how much did he take? He's at about 8. Could be max HP. I'm just going to U-turn on it. There's no point in staying in on this if this... Oh, it's not Terra Steel? Okay. That is very surprising to me that that's not Terra Steel. Very interesting. So he doesn't Terra Steel there. He could be Mystical Fire still. I mean, what does this get for me for an Arcanine? Like a ground move? No. Fighting? No, it doesn't have moves for me. And how much am I doing with my Arcanine? Potentially just killing. Acid Armor is a very good bring. See that +2 defense? We're gonna click Head Smash. You should be in range of 2 Head Smashes. If he's Terra Steel, that's a really, really good bring from him. Would you really Terra Steel in front of a Fire type? We missed. That is big. That is a huge miss. What does he click? Another Acid Armor. So he hasn't calm-minded yet, which is important. Part of me really, really screams that he is... putting me in a tough position. My Pheasantipity does about 40% with a Sludge Bomb. He does just keep Acid Armoring. He's at +6 Phys Def. And he's at max HP. We want to try and get a poison hit. Can we get a poison? We do. Beautiful. That's a big poison. Do we see a CM or anything? It's stored power. That's going to hurt. That is not going to KO though. So we see stored power plus acid armor. And he does just look like he's max HP. If I had to guess, I'd say he is not Terra Steel based on what he's shown me so far. He's probably Terra Fairy. If he does just Terra and click recover, we're in a lot of trouble though. I mean, there's no way you don't Terra Steel in front of Pheasantipity first, twice. If he goes Gliscor, that's a good play. I think he's really thinking hard about this one. I don't think he's Terra Steel. You just go Terra Steel and click another Sword Power if you're Terra Steel, right? He's just going to take another Sludge Bomb. That's fine by me. Doesn't quite put it into range. Does click another Sword Power. Does this KO? It will not. That's big. Can I risk him being a recover set? I think I Moonblast here. Moonblast looks decently free. Or it does better damage to things like Gliscor. Moonblast would do like 27% to max HP Gliscor. I could have maybe gone for the Icy Wind this turn. He does make the swap, okay. And it is into Gliscor, so I should have probably gone for the Icy Wind that turn. We shall see this thing's item and how much bulk it has. That looks about the correct damage, and it is Toxic Orb. Pew, pew, pew. There's a few things we can go into here. We can just go Fortress, I think. Fortress doesn't take barely anything from these hits. The other option is to go into Mandibuzz, which does nothing to that, nothing back. Belly Bolt isn't bad, but I want to get that in safely. I do think I want to keep this around as a sack. I'm going to go into the Fortress here. We do 50% with an Ice Spinner to max HP, max defense. He does click Facade. Okay, so we're going to see damage, 40 damage from a Facade. Facade, that is 0 attack. As a roll from 0 attack, I'm just going to get my rocks up here. Which applies pressure to things like Iron Bundle. If he goes Iron Bundle here, really, really good play. I just have to sack Pheasantipity at that point. And then get into my Belly Bolt and threaten back, because we are max def. I do want to see the calc of bundle specs into my Belly Bolt. Pump does over 50. That is, wow, that is crazy. But he obviously has to hit pumps. Ice Beam does under half. Volt Switches would kill after a Rocks. He does withdraw. bundle? Bundle. Good play. Really good play. This is chipped, so it's in belly bolt range. I don't see a reason to keep Fez around here, and I get to see... I either get switch advantage from a U-turn or flip turn, or I get to see what move he locks himself into. And it's the flip turn. Okay, that's fine. He has to take rocks from now on. We are going to see what his swap in is. I don't know how the interaction was. He goes tentacle. Okay. So he potentially tries spin, I guess. He is black sludge. Okay. Valuable info. We can just go into belly bolt here. He didn't bring a ground type, right? He did bring Gliscor, but that's fine by me. I'm going to keep my Terra around, I think. And I'm just going to... What does Terra give me? It gives me no longer a weakness to a lot of things. So I think I am just going to Terrestrialize and go for the Volt Switch. Maybe Rapid Spin's good play. Like Sludge. And he's going to see our Terra Ice. How much is this doing? Good chunk. He flip turns first. Okay. So he did... Yeah, we're going to be charged up, which is nice. Does he go hard into... He's seen the Terra Ice. Surely you don't go Gliscor on this now. 21 plus 30, I believe, was the flip turn. Looks like 0 attack Tentacle, so that's good information. He does not get the Rapid Spin, which is really, really nice as well. He does go... He goes Gliscor. Okay. He is going to get Poison Heal. Am I faster? Why did Poison on this item goes first rather than the ability? I don't know. Muddy Water does 47. Is there an Ice resist? There is Bundle, but I'm just going to go for a Terra Blast now. Could be Bundle, but Bundle still gives me the option to get Lefty's Recovery, and I live a hit from Bundle, and I just get to Volt Switch. He hasn't lost anything yet, but rocks are making it a little bit tough for him to play around. And I think Alchemy's dead to rocks, so that's tough. Bundle being weak to rocks is not nice. He is holding the Moon here. That hasn't hit the field. We haven't seen what that is about. We're going to see withdrawal. Okay, into what? Into Dio. Okay, so Dio's coming in. This is going to break a potential sash. And this thing is chipped. No boots. And he is exerting his pressure. This will do about 50% to defensive Dio. I mean, offensive? Yeah, offensive Dio. We're in a solid spot here. This could just be rocks, so I'm going to Volt Switch again. Because if it's rocks, I just go into my Fortress. And I do have boots plus sturdy to guarantee I can get a spin off. He does just rocks. Okay, yeah, that's perfectly fine by me. So Dio does go down, which is beautiful. The speedster is dead. Ooh, we are not in our sturdy. How bad is that? I think that's fine. We should eat hits from Moon, right? Crunch is 40% into my fortress. So yeah, that's fine. We just want to get rid of these rocks because they're annoying for our team to deal with. It's Gliscor. Okay, this is going to take rocks again. I'm just going to spin away rocks. He's SD. Okay, that's annoying. I think we Ice Spinner here. Looking for a so he's what? Facade, probably EQ, +2. +2 Gliscor, still not doing too much to me. I'm gonna Ice Spinner here. ESDs again. That's still not killing me, right? Oh, so close. That's huge. I don't think Rapid Spin Ice. I'm just gonna Ice Spin it again. He's gonna Protect. Okay, so he's Protect, EQ, Swords Dance, Facade. Okay. He shouldn't still KO us with an EQ. I mean, getting rid of this with Dio being dead, so no more rocks. I think that's a valuable trade. I wouldn't be surprised if he swaps here. But we got Gliscor low, and that's big. Either we KO here, and we basically trade our life. We can see Roaring Moon hit the field, which would be probably the most scary thing at the moment for us to deal with. Is Roaring Moon. We need to keep around at least one thing to counter it. He does withdraw. Okay, so we are going to keep health on Fortress, which is nice. And we're going to see Bundle come in. This is potentially rocks damage here. It is. This should do absolutely nothing. How much is Arcanine doing to this bundle with an E-speed? We do about 40%, so we still need this thing lower. It comes a question of what is the swap. We do have rocks gone. We need Mandibuzz for Roaring Moon. I'm seeing less and less use in the Greninja. I think I'm gonna sack Ninja here. Or was it just Fortress's time to go? Knowing that the Gliscor doesn't have a way to raise speed, I don't think Fortress is as useful. So I think I'm going to stay in, but we don't do much damage. I am going to EQ here, I think. We get to see what he locks into is the important thing. So I'm going to EQ. He is just Hydro Pumping. Okay. That should be dead Fortress. Yep. Is this the moment to do it? Because how much is Hydro Pump doing into my Greninja? 60%. It's not killing though. This could easily be Belly Bolt anyway, so we're just gonna go Belly Bolt here. And once more, just click a Volt Switch, right? Pump does 50 to me. If he clicks that, that's a good play. He might just take the damage, honestly. We're down 2 mons, he's down 1, but Alchemy's, I think, dead to rocks. And the other thing he has removal in Tentacruel, but it's always in a tough spot. And we need to keep her in a tough spot. Right now I think it'll be about 80%. He withdraws. Is it into Gliscor though? It's into Tentacruel, really good. That is massive for us. Getting damage on this is huge. Big damage. And I think this allows in my Gren. So if we either A, get the KO here with an extra sensory, and I think we are going to get the KO here with an extra sensory. So let's say we do. Beautiful. So that means rocks are guaranteed up. That means that Iron Bundle is going to be in E-speed range the next time it comes in. And we just need a Flame Charge to be able to outspeed Roaring Moon. And I think we do enough to it off the rocks at that point to KO it. We're just looking for the Arcanine win here. Head Smash into a... There's Roaring Moon. We're going to see booster speed. Uber's DD into my Gren. Is attack boosting. Oh, okay. Very interesting. Attack booster. +2 booster attack. Blah blah blah. KOs. How much am I doing with the U10? Not as much as that, because we are a Psychic type. We're going to remove Protein temporarily to Prism Armor, and we do like 45 to 50, so that's a good chunk. So that means 2 of those KOs should be with the Protean. I am on item. Yeah, that looks like the correct amount of damage. So he is very offensive. I think we just go into Mandibuzz here, right? How well do we take the hits from that? Decently well. DDs. Ooh, that's huge. I mean, it should be in E-speed range still after a U-turn, and we should never die to this in one big hit. I don't know, like Outrage. Oof. If he locks himself to Outrage, then we get into Fortress and get Ice Spinner chip and killed that way. So Outrage is the only way you can kill my Mandibuzz. I don't think Dragon Claw kills. Dragon Claw never kills. He is just going to Dragon Claw. This should never kill. Yep, beautiful. We do get weak armor boost, which isn't going to matter much. We could have clicked Brave Bird, but yeah. We're just going to U-turn. Not quite KO, but do enough. So I think now win with my Arcanine, right? Because what does he have left? Dio Speed's dead. Tentacruel is dead. Alchemy should die to rocks. Roaring Moon is in range, I presume. Yeah. Iron Bundle should be in range. We have enough sacks anyway. Yeah, I think this is time for Arcanine to go and do it. Iron Bundle should take 37.5 to 44.6 from a Life Orb hit. From a Life Orb E-Speed. I don't know the exact amount it's at, but it has taken chip. Plus at least 50% from rocks. Oof, that is close. 37.5 min. Let's have a look, shall we? It's under 30, it should die. And if it doesn't die, then I threw and it's my fault. It does, beautiful. Bliss score is very low. Is it in flame charge range? Flame charge is less than an E speed. Oof, that is a roll that is very close. E speed, he might just protect her. Honestly, I do kind of want to swap on the protect. Fortress is dead. You can go into you. You take a hit, right? The SDs, that's on me. Mandibuzz. Facade. Not doing enough. I'm gonna go into Mandibuzz here. He does EQ, not bad. You could actually go for the double Brave Bird here. I'm gonna knock off here. He does Facade. This should be game. Now, I realize I can stop talking. Alchemy should die. Does Alchemy die to rocks? It does. So that means that Fortress actually gets a KO there. And I think that's game, right? Yeah, big GG's to JMKlein. Very, very fun game. It's very, very tense. Specs bundle, Roaring Moon in the back, Dio speed, just trying to keep the rocks up. But I think we managed it very, very well. We did have to make a few tactical sacks. But I think those were the right decisions at the time. I'm a little bit annoyed that Arcanine didn't get 4. Maybe I should have just stayed in and clicked a head smash. But I didn't want to risk dying and being in a bad position. I mean, it would never have been a bad position because then I can just go Belly Bolt and Terra Blast. But still, it was tough. But we do get the win. So we do go to 2-1, which is very, very nice. I do believe that's a 4-0, correct? Yep. So we're in positive numbers finally. And we should be in the upper half of the board as well, which is really nice. But yeah, that was a great game. And I'll see you all next week for week 4. Bye-bye.